Hi everyone, my name is Zia and I'm the CEO and founder of Dental School Coach. Today we're going to talk about how to be a successful applicant to dental school if you're applying the second time or the third time or even multiple times. So as a reapplicant, what you need to do to improve upon your admissions process. So first of all, we're not going to be able to help if you accidentally created a dental application, and because of that you're a reapplicant. This is not ideal. So let us tell you who is the webinar for and who we can help. So essentially, a lot of people apply multiple times without going through a reflecting process, without going through understanding why they're how they're doing well in their dental school application process and what mistakes they're making. So a lot of the times you'll hear, oh, third time's the charm. It's not necessarily true. If you don't improve on anything, third time is not going to be the charm. So the other thing that you need to look at is the other people that we are going to help are the people that that got waitlisted after applying and then are currently on the wait list, but also don't want to have something to do in the fall when they don't get accepted. So they want to apply again so that they have a secure path to dental school. And finally, people that are losing hope and then feeling lost, we want to help you to recover and have a solid plan to apply to dental school. So what is Dental School Coach and what do we do? So Dental School Coach was started in 2014 when I was helping out a bunch of pre-dental students to get into dental school. And over the last 5 years, I have helped over 900 students to get into different dental schools, including the top ones. I've done over 200 mock interviews and with a success rate of 96% for all my students. So that means that essentially, if we help 100 students, at least 96 students get accepted, or only 4% get waitlisted or rejected. So you can see that we have a pretty good success rate. Now, I also myself got accepted to 5 dental schools, and I attended UPenn as an undergraduate, graduating in 2013. So here are some of the schools that my students got accepted to, and we are super proud of them. Harvard, UCSF, Penn, to just name a few. We also have a bunch of other acceptances at UCLA and other top rated school in the country. We have expanded in the last few years, and this is our team. We have 4 members who are all dental students at different stages of their career. Ali and Hadi are graduating this year, and Navi and Pooja are still in dental school. Ali and Hadi are at NYU. Navi is at ESDO, and Pooja is attending Tufts. So the things that we're going to discuss today are going to be basically 2 different aspects of the application process. The first aspect is what went wrong, and creating a reflection or reflective pathway for you to understand how you can improve in the next application cycle. And the second part is how to improve upon whatever went wrong. And that could be DAT, GPA, whatever it is. We are here to provide support as well as guidance to help you in the application process. So let's kind of jump right in and talk about reflection. I don't think many applicants do that. A lot of applicants right now who got rejected at this point in time or are on the wait list they're going through a panic attack, or they're either going through a grief stage. They haven't fully accepted that they didn't get accepted to dental school. So I think reflection is the right thing to do and logical thing to do at this point in time. Now, how do you reflect? It's a tough question, but I think individually is the best way to reflect. First of all, you need to look at your application holistically and honestly. I think honesty is the answer to whatever is happening. So if you got a 19 on the DAT, don't fool yourself thinking that it's a okay enough score, it's a good enough score. You should take that exam again. Or if you have a low GPA, be honest with yourself and say that, hey, I don't think I can get accepted with a 3.0. I need to do something different. The other thing you can do is hire an advisor or a coach like us to review your profile, and we'll talk about free review at the end, where I provide a 20-minute coaching to tell you basically what went wrong with the application and give you some ideas what to do. A bad idea is to ask random people on SDN as to like what are your chances or what you need to improve on, because it doesn't help. Like people on SDN, you don't know who they are. You can't really tell if they're real dental students or if they're like weirdos that are just trolling, right? So you want to be careful about what advice you get from SDN. That said, let's talk about how to improve upon your dental school application. And we're going to look at the gap areas, right? So we're going to look at the areas where you need the most improvement and how to do it. So let's jump right in. Excuse me. I'm feeling a bit under the weather, so excuse me during the time. First of all, let's look at GPA or DAT score. I think those are the most important thing in the application cycle and in the application process. So a bad GPA is not a replacement for a good DAT score. Or let me put it that way, a good DAT score is not necessarily a replacement for a bad GPA. I've had students who have terrible GPA end up getting great DAT score and get accepted, and the other case, poor GPA, great DAT score, sometimes not getting accepted. Depends on your other profile of your application. But I think what I'll say is that a bad GPA just puts you at a bad position, and you don't want to be there. So can you get accepted with a low GPA? Probably. It's a tricky question. Like, can anyone get accepted with a 3.0? Yes, but you probably have to go through a postbac or a master's program where your intention is to improve your GPA and understanding of the sciences. Now, the risk of applying with the 3.0 is very high. So if you have a 3.0 or lower, a 3.2 or lower, I recommend not doing the application and just figuring out a postbac process. Now, if you want to go through a 1-year postbac process and then you want to apply at the same time, we can talk about that. That's an option my students have done previously, and we have we specialize with helping you with postbac or master's programs. So, feel free to chat with us. But I would say, if you need to do a postbac, here are the conditions. So if you have a low level of understanding and comfort level with the sciences, I recommend do it. Right? It's expensive, but it's not as expensive as going to dental school and failing. Right? So you want to be successful as a dental student, after that as a dentist. So you want to focus on how do I get better? How can I improve my skills in sciences, in things that matter in dentistry? So we recommend that students with 3.2 or lower science GPA look into postbac programs, master's program. Now, I'm going to cover a different webinar, the postbac or master's program and what the differences are, how can you think about them, what are some of the ways to do it. There's a comprehensive guide on the website. You can find it on our website as well. I'll link below on the video so you can find it quickly. And then the next question people do ask is, what about DAT score? I didn't score very well. Should I take it again? And it's it's hard to answer. Like, people are going to say on SDN, like, hey, take it. Right? It's not as simple as that. Like, I would recommend taking it if you score 17 or below in one of the sections. Now, if it's QR, I probably won't have you take it again. But if it's like a science section like biology, a 16 or 15 can kill your application. And I've had that happen to many students in the past. So you want to be very careful as to like what is happening in the application cycle. What is happening to your DAT score and how can you improve that score? So the advice we'll give you is that if you get anything below 18 or 19 on the science subject, take it again. It's going to help you. It's not going to hurt you. Excuse me. Now, if you do have a low GPA and got like a 19 on the academic average on TS, I think it's also a good idea to take it. Now, sometimes taking the DAT again is hard, right? If let's say you took it in June, let's say you took it in February, and then you didn't do well, you took it again in June and you were frustrated because you didn't do well as you thought. And funny thing is, like, many of the applicants that take the DAT again don't do well, and that's like a normal thing. We'll cover what you need to do well on the DAT. But the idea is that if you have to take the DAT again in October, that is better than not taking it, because if you take it in October, you still have some post-December interviews that you can attend and get accepted to. Now, there are some exceptions. Let's say you cannot improve after third or fourth try and you've already taken it 3 times. I think it's a bad idea to take it again. Maybe wait to see if you can do the postbac and then try again. And then sometimes you may not have the bandwidth, like course load or time to take the exam. So in that cases, we recommend not taking it, because you want to also improve your GPA. One thing that is really important in the case is that you need to improve your GPA and the DAT scores. And if you don't have time for that, time for both of them together, take it slow. Dental schools are not going anywhere. They're going to stay for I would say eternity. They're going to stay for a long time. So you need to think about your long-term goal. It does sometimes people get so obsessed with applying this next cycle because their peers are going to schools in the next cycle, or because they probably have some kind of like artificial deadline on when they want to go to dental school. I would say that average medical or dental students, first year, their age is about 25 now. So a lot of people are taking time off, doing things differently between their time to between dental school and before dental school. So that said, a lot of people ask me, what should I study with the DAT, or what should I study for the DAT? Like, what materials should I use? When I was taking the DAT, I used Chad's videos, DAT Destroyer and DAT Achiever, but I think time has changed. That was 7 years ago. I think DAT Bootcamp is probably the most popular software out there that helps you understand the materials as well as take the practice exams. And then you also have the DAT Destroyer, which is also very good. But what you study with matters less, right? So it's important to understand how you study and why you're studying and how to do a better job studying, right? So if you're having issues with going through the material and then not finishing the material and taking the practice exams multiple times, it's not going to help you, right? DAT exams require you to number one, memorize a few things, maybe a whole lot of things. But number two, it can be unpredictable and you get random questions. And if you take, the same practice exam multiple times, it doesn't really help. Or if you take multiple practice exams without improving, that is also not helpful. So the thing is, if you're not getting above 21, ask yourself why. Why is that happening? How can I improve? Identify areas of weaknesses and then figure out the basics that you need to improve on. And work on the basics. Like, sometimes what students do is that they haven't done well on organic chemistry, and then when they're taking the DAT, they feel like, oh, it's easier than the regular class that I've taken. Yes, probably, but you need to get better at your basics before you can apply the skill sets into the exam, because taking the exam is not easy. And then don't take the practice exam just for the exam's sake. Learn, improve, and retake. Like, if you don't improve between your practice exams, you're not doing it right. So the next section we're going to talk about is personal statement. So a lot of the time we get two types of questions. Number one is like, did I get rejected because of my personal statement? That's probably not the right thing to say, because there's a slim chance that you probably have got it rejected. I think the chances are low in that situation. The other questions that we get are, do I have to redo my personal statement? I think we can answer both of them. So the first question is, did I get rejected because of my personal statement? As I said, there's a slim chance for that. And how do you find out? You can ask a friend who is really good at writing to review your personal statement, and he probably will tell you. Ask him to be honest with you. If you can't find any of them, any friends who is good, ask us. We'll do a free review and tell you whether that was the reason you got rejected. I hardly doubt that the personal statement is the main reason, but I think it's also important to look, do an introspection if your personal statement is good enough or not. Can you reuse your personal statement? Absolutely not. Don't do that. I think it's not a good idea. And now that AdSense application, you can pull over from whatever you applied last year to new year. Schools, have a better way to track like whatever you wrote last year. So don't change that. Sorry. Change your personal statement for the better. Things that you need to think about is at least adding a reapplicant as paragraph. So that should say what what your stories are, like what are the new stories that you should be telling, and what have you been doing since last year's rejection or since last year's waitlisting. Provide some concrete evidence, such as, hey, I've been doing XYZ, volunteering, or I've been taking on this leadership activities, or I've improved my DAT score, or I've been taking more science classes, or I plan to enroll in a post-bac program in the fall. Something like that would be good. As I mentioned, it doesn't have, sometimes people, the window of time that you have between getting rejected and reapplying is really low. So what that means is really not that much time, right? So let's say you get rejected by March and you have to apply again by June. So that doesn't give you a lot of time to do something new. In that cases, you should focus on what you're going to do in the future. So what are you doing in the summer? What are you doing in the fall? Taking new classes, taking the DAT again, and things like that would be appropriate to say in your personal statement. But what they're looking for is like, have you identified what you didn't do well in the application process, and can you do a better job? All right. So in terms of a school selection and letter of recommendation and application timeline, I think we'll cover that. But what we see most in terms of a school selection is that many people don't apply to the right number of schools. I've seen students applying to like 4 schools, which is not ideal, especially if you want to maximize your chances with the low GPA. You should apply to 10 to 15 schools to get to a good position. Now, that the school selection is going to depend on 3 categories. So schools that are easy to get into, or schools that are within your reach. That should cover about 80% of your school selection. And you should only apply to maybe like 10 to 20% of schools that are stretch. So just to give you some number and rough estimate, so if you apply to 15 schools, you should be applying to 12 schools that are easy to get into or reach school. And then only apply to 3 schools that are stretch. Like stretch schools are your dream schools, like your UPenn, Harvard, things like that. If you don't have the stats for it, don't go for it. Don't apply if you don't think you will get accepted, because it's a money waste, right? You want to be careful about what schools you'll select. Now, we do provide services that can help you find the right schools for your profile. So, definitely look into our services for more information. Now, submitting the application as early as you can is really, really important. The goal is to submit, as soon as the cycle opens up, and but you need to make sure that don't submit a crappy application because you have to submit early. Balance between getting it right versus perfecting it to the small little details. Because a lot of people, what they do is like, hey, I'm a reapplicant, I need to do a really good job. So they start, covering really small details and like figure out what they're going to do with them. And it takes them to like until August to finish up everything in the application. So that's really late. On the other hand, you don't want to submit something that's crappy. If your personal statement sucks, call us, contact us, and we'll help you with the personal statement within a week or so. If you're planning to take the DAT in the summer, even then apply early, because you don't have to wait for your DAT score. You can take the DAT later, and but the most important thing is to know from this slide is that the application process is rolling admissions, so it's a queue basically, and the later you are in the queue, the worse your chances are. So it's all about probabilities and numbers. So you want to make sure you're at the top of the game. Can you use an existing letter of recommendation? We don't recommend that because we want you to show what you have improved upon. Now, students can do that in 2 ways. Number one, they can add another letter of recommendation in the file. Let's say you take out one that's not the most strongest recommendation letter, and you add a new one that's gonna be a better fit. The other thing is like ask your professors to add new activities and new things that you have been doing. Excuse me. And your professors can do that through Interfolio. You can give them a blurb. You can give them a write-up that they can add to your recommendation letter. Or if your schools or ADSES are not taking Interfolio, then be honest with your professor. Say that, hey, you haven't gotten accepted, and politely ask them to add the changes to the letter. Now, it's hard to access these professors. They're super busy at times, especially if it's a research school. They are doing research over the summer, and they don't want to bother with letter of recommendation writing and things like that. So make it as easy as you can for them, right? So give them the notes that they need to write. Give them everything that they would need to have to add that update. Create a system and process to show them like what they need to do, like go to XYZ website, go to or send them the email that they would need to send them the email with the link for submitting your personal recommendation and things like that. So make it easy on them. That's the basic idea. Excuse me. The next is for international students. It's really hard for international students to get accepted in dental school, especially in the US. But majority of the international students that come to the US are from Canada. So, technically, we love Canadians, but at the same time, they are considered international, and there is a low chance that they will get accepted just because of the numbers, right? It's nothing against Canadians. It's just that the US schools tend to reserve more spots for US students. Now, I've had a lot of Canadian and also Indian, Chinese, and Korean students who got accepted to different dental school in the ADSES process. I can give you some more guidance on this in the next slide. So first of all, what if you're a Canadian? Becoming a dentist in Canada is super hard. So American schools are better, provide a better opportunity for you. But don't wait until the deadline to apply. Apply early. Take the American DAT. It's offered more than your CDAT, which is offered only twice a year. And research into schools that are Canadian student friendly. Then if you don't know which those schools are, you can ask me, and I can help you find those schools. If you are coming from other countries like Korea, India, and China, which are probably the majority of the other students that are applying to dental schools in the U.S. As an international student, you should also reach out to us to understand which schools would be a good fit for you, and we'll show you what schools to apply and what schools not to apply. Now, all that said, how can we help you using our platform? So the first thing that you can do is give us 20 minutes of your time, and we'll do an overview and analysis of your last application in details and give you some feedback and guidance. A lot of the time, the feedback is probably what you need, and you don't know why you got rejected. So we need to understand, you need to understand how to get better. But if you don't understand what you did wrong, you can't get better. So sign up for a free 20-minute consult. It's right on the website. You can just hit the link, and then it's going to take you to a calendar invite page. It's pretty easy to sign up. So let me know if you're having any issues. And then a lot of our students get the consulting packages that we offer. These consulting packages are supposed to be your guide to applying to dental school. And we don't say it lightly. We essentially mean it in a variety of ways. So we have 3 different packages: silver, gold, and platinum. They all come with unlimited advising hours, and that means that you have unlimited time with us. We have 4 admissions consultant expert as well as myself. We will jump on a call with you. We'll talk to you whenever needed. You can text us, and then if you need any help, any guidance on any decision that you cannot make, we'll make it happen. We'll make sure that you have a guidance and you have some sort of ways into knowing what to do. The second thing is the school selection. A lot of people, as I mentioned, don't get accepted because of the applying to wrong schools or applying to fewer schools. So you wanna also optimize the schools you apply to and how many, what schools. That's really important. So we help with that. Excuse me. Personal statement is another one that we specialize really well. So our services started with the personal statement services. That's probably our bread and butter. And we have, as I mentioned, serviced over 900 students and their personal statements with a 96% success rate. So if I don't have to give a lot more information about that. You can find more information about our personal statement services. But essentially, you get VIP access to us, and we take care of you, as in we help you write the best and the most personable statement ever that will get you accepted into the dental school program. Now, a lot of people struggle with the secondaries and the activity summary. We help with that as well. Different packages have different number of secondaries included, so feel free to look at which one you need. And look at mock interview services. We have been providing mock interview services since the inception of our business, and it has helped a lot of people get accepted to dental school, especially people that are that feel lack of confidence, that feel that they're not sure how to say things in the right way, structure their questions, structure their answers properly, and things like that. We have helped a tremendous amount of people getting accepted despite having a fear of interviewing. Now, All our services are they come with 48 to 70 hours, 72 hours of turnaround time, which basically means that if you give us a personal statement, we will turn it around to you within 3 days. 3 days max, 2 days earliest. And the reason is that we really care about your success, and we care about how you get to that successful path. And we want this to be a quick process. We don't want you to wait for a long time. So that said, look into the personal statement and other packages separately, but these consulting packages provide a huge amount of discount. So as you can see, the lowest one is $32.99, but it's usually costs about $4,000, and the highest one cost about $6,100, but we provide it at $5,500 ish. Now, for a limited time, we're providing a 25% discount on all of our consulting packages. So sign up for a free 20-minute phone call at dentalschoolcoach.com to learn more about this. The only way you can get this 25% discount is by talking to us on the phone. We do not let you buy the service online. We only allow you to talk to us first and then buy the service, because that's the best way to make sure that you are matched with the right advisor, you have the right plan, and you have the right guidance to get accepted. That said, I'm now going to answer some of the frequently asked questions that I get from students that are applying again. So first of all, can I submit apps without taking all the prereqs? If you're a reapplicant, you should be done with your prereqs. If you're not, that's fine. Just let the dental schools know that you have the right intention to take the courses again, or if you have failed some courses, or take the courses maybe next fall or spring that you haven't taken it and are prereqs. So in terms of community college credits, I think some schools feel iffy about community college credits, so make sure you do your research. You can also ask us. Do not ask a community college professor for a recommendation letter. It doesn't look good on you, and you have 2 years to make friends and meet professors and four-year college. So take advantage of that and start that process early. The other thing that I do mention, a lot of people like, hey, I'm going to take XYZ course in a community college and get a good grade. Yeah, but some schools look at it in a negative way. So you want to be careful where and how you're getting the classes. So some people want to take a gap year. That's perfectly fine with us. We respect that. We believe dental schools aren't going anywhere. And you have a lot of time to come back and apply in the next couple of years. So if you have, if you want to take a gap year, talk with us. We can give you some suggestions. Do I lose everything when I apply through AdSense, or do I have to re-enter everything? So from starting last year, they did a new system or I think 2017, they revamped the system so that you can carry over whatever you had from your past application. So that's a good way for you to not get screwed in the process. So the last thing is, do I have an advantage as a dental student, or do I have an advantage as a reapplicant? I think we're not sure about that. I don't think there's a specific answer to that. But some schools may say, hey, you just need to improve in one subject or one thing, and we can take you next cycle. And sometimes you do that and they see the improvement and they will take you right away. So that's an advantage because they already know you, they liked you already. But the other thing is you haven't done anything better compared with your last step and you just applied again, and that looks really terrible. So you want to make sure that you have the right profile, you have the new you have the new commitments and activities mentioned in your personal statement, also mentioned in your AdSense application, so that you get the best. I would say you get the best look from the admissions committee. That said, this is the end of our presentation. You can reach us at dentalschoolcoach@gmail.com, and that's the best way to reach us. We also we also provide a lot of free activities, such as free personal statement reviews, so that you're not wasting your time and energy using our services. We also do a lot of other things that are you can just buy a la carte on our website. So check out our website, dentalschoolcoach.com, and feel free to shoot me an email and also text us or chat with us, and we'll be super enthusiastic to answer any question that you may have. Thank you.